Welcome to the Cryptonomatron, guys. Thanks for joining me again today. On this video, we'll be taking a closer look at Haven Protocol and also its upcoming merge fork, Bitcoin Air. So stay tuned. But if this is your first time watching the channel and you want to know more about ICOs, cryptocurrency, and low-cap altcoins like Haven Protocol, then you've got to click on that subscribe button and click on that bell notification icon and you'll get notified as soon as I upload new content. Thanks for doing that. Let's get on with the vid. So we're touching on one of the holy grails of cryptocurrency for the second day in a row. Yesterday we touched on decentralized reputation with DREP, and today we're looking at stability, price stability, and it's a holy grail because it's very, very volatile in the markets at the moment. Cryptocurrency, because of its nature, is speculative at the moment, and therefore being a young technology and a young asset class, it's subject to a lot of ups and downswings. But a stability factor or a stability method has been devised by Haven Protocol, and it's quite interesting. Some other projects have tried to attempt this, but never really achieved it. So we'll start off by looking at Haven Protocol and go through my usual token review or coin review on it. Starting off with just a little explanation about the project. Now, Haven and Bitcoin Air are very, very similar in what they intend to do. But Haven is an untraceable cryptocurrency. It's got more of a focus on privacy than Bitcoin Air will have. But Haven is untraceable, and it proposes a mix of standard market pricing and stable fiat value storage without an unsustainable peg or asset backing such as Tether has. Now, it's going to achieve this by using a built-in on-chain smart contract that controls the minting and burning of coins to facilitate value for users that choose to send their coins to the offshore storage contracts, while allowing everybody else to be exposed to the natural price movements of the currency. So if you want to hedge, you can then transfer your Haven coins over to offshore storage, where they will be assigned a US dollar value, and at any time you can transfer them back into Haven coins and they will be subject to the volatility once again. So it acts almost as if it's a US dollar tether, if you like, but without actually being backed by any assets. The beauty of it is it's the smart contracts that do all the work for you, so you know your assets are absolutely guaranteed. So the first competitor is obviously going to be Tether. Now, it's 100% backed by fiat currency. One Tether, or USDT, US dollar Tether, equals $1 US effectively. Now, it's considered to be fully backed by actual US dollar assets, but of course we know the exchange that backs it, Bitfinex, have it refused several times to be fully audited. It's also centralized as well, so it doesn't have that trustless component that smart contract blockchain will have, like Haven Protocol. The next competitor is MakerDAO. Now, Maker is a decentralized autonomous organization. I spoke about those before in my XAP video. That is pegged against the US dollar, but it is actually backed by Ethereum. So their stable coin is called the DAI, and each one is worth $1 US. Now, stability in the system is maintained through an autonomous system of smart contracts. So to receive the DAI token, you have to send your tokens to the Maker platform to lock these tokens up. So it was one of the first in the space to actually be backed by cryptocurrency, but it is quite complex and slow as well. Yet another is another version of Haven, except it's got two V's in it, so I guess you could call it Haven. I don't think that's their intention though. Now, it's another decentralized payment network and stable coin. It's got two coins. First one's called the Nomen, which is the stable coin, and then that's what you'll use for everyday transactions, basically. The other one are called the Havens or the Havens, and a fee for each transaction that is conducted with the Nomens goes back to the actual company itself. The fees are then distributed back to the token holders, who are rewarded for maintaining the system. It is fully decentralized, quite quick, but it's relatively unproven at the moment, so eyes are on it to see how well it's going to do. So Basecoin is another one, and it pegs its price to US dollar as well. However, it's got a bond system, so when the price drops under $1, coin holders can actually buy bonds, and then coins used to buy the bonds are then destroyed, so supply decreases and the price increases. The opposite happens when they expand the supply. So It's an interesting Ivy League development team behind that one, backed by some prominent venture capitalists as well. Again, disadvantages with it are the fact it relies on this bond process, which is quite convoluted and confusing to a lot of people. So honourable mention goes to Terra. It is a Korean project that's launching quite soon, and it's going to be a stable coin. All I really know about this one is it's going to use a hybrid coin system, so you'll have the Terra and the Luna as well as the other coin. But more details on that coming up, and you know how much I love my Korean projects, so stay tuned. So the biggest problem that they're going to solve is, of course, volatility. By having this hedge that's pegged to the dollar, you can move in and out of this hedge anytime you want through the smart contracts and the protocol that Haven Protocol is actually offering. And the way it works is very, very simple. When you transfer your Haven protocol into offshore storage, the Haven coins get burned, and then you get a fiat value for your Haven coins. When you want to buy back in, you get that fiat value worth of Haven coins back, and then the Haven coins are reminted. So it's quite a simple system, but it also addresses a couple of other problems. Centralized network is another one, and that's very vulnerable, as we've seen before with Tether. And also another problem is transparency too, so you can see everything on the blockchain. That's pretty much the way it does. There is another couple of problems. One is for merchants as well when they're accepting cryptocurrency payments. Again, it's volatility related, but you know, if you're a merchant and you're accepting cryptocurrency, the next day your crypto could be worth 50% of what it was the day before, and therefore merchants are reluctant to accept crypto at the moment. So this could be a solution. And also another issue is storing large amounts of money outside the traditional banking system. So if you actually can buy Haven Protocol and hedge it into the offshore storage, then you could essentially store a lot of money very, very easily, and being private, nobody's going to know. So Haven Protocol wants to be this stable coin, if you like, with this offshore storage method, but it also wants to be untraceable, hidden, and decentralized. Now, the transaction amounts are completely obfuscated on the Haven blockchain, so all activity will be invisible. The Haven network is also decentralized, it's open source, so there's no central control over the network, and nothing is censored too. So it's true to the blockchain traditions of anonymity, privacy, security, and stealth as well. So to analyze the market, we just have to look at Tether as an example, currently sitting on a market cap just over $2.5 billion. Again, we've seen Tether being used quite a lot, you know, by people as a hedge for their crypto assets. When they think the market's going down, they jump into Tether and preserve the value in US dollar terms. So in terms of team, they aren't banded all over the website with their past history working for Google, Microsoft. This is a proper developer team that's behind this project, which gives it added value in my opinion. And also, to see the size of the community, I don't bother going to Twitter or Telegram here as I would in an ICO review. I actually go to their GitHub and I look and see how many contributions there's been, actually 177 in the last year. A lot of followers as well, 7 repositories. And again, a lot of developers following this project with keen interest. So Haven Protocol is a fork of Monero. It inherits all the traits of Monero, including the privacy, ring CT and everything else. The hash algorithm is obviously Kryptonite, proof of work. You can actually mine it. You can even mine it if you download the wallet. Your CPU can work in the background. Block time is 120 seconds. And it obviously is going to be implementing this offshore storage model, which is really what it's all about. And that's the native smart contract, which will hold your balance of Haven coins in fiat value when you make the transaction. Dead simple, and it really something that you know is badly needed to stop exposure to digital currency volatility. So the main use case is obviously going to be the offshore storage, so you can burn your haven and go into the offshore storage in US dollar value. But another use will be just as a payment currency, basically. So you'll in the future be able to use it to buy goods and services from merchants, and it's also a privacy currency too. So it's quite handy. Much like Monero, if you're trying to avoid that watchful gaze of the law. Not that I'm suggesting you should do that, by the way. So let's take a look at the tokenomics of the project now, and it's still at a very, very low cap, in my opinion, of just over 6 million US dollars. The price of the tokens just over $2.30 and around 30,000 Satoshi at the moment. So I would say this is still quite a opportune moment to get involved with this. Now, with the upcoming merge fork of Bitcoin Air, I'm sure in the run up to the fork this will gain value dramatically. And as well, there's a lot of things happening in the roadmap which we'll look at in a second. Circulating supply will obviously increase as it's a mineable coin, but the total supply is 18.4 million, and there will never be any more than that. Look to Bitcoin for that example. Volume is pretty healthy, 18.76 Bitcoin gone through it in the last 24 hours, and it's impressive when you consider it's only on a couple of tiny markets. Trade Ogre is where I bought it. They have a Bitcoin pairing there, and Nanex is the other one, which you'll need to actually own Nano to trade on there. So again, liquidity is quite low in terms of exchanges, but in volume it's pretty high. Now that's interesting because it shows there's a lot of interest in this project. I don't have any concerns over this project at all, really, but some people will say, oh, but the team aren't visible on the website because they're so used to doing these crappy ICOs that they expect everybody to have a Harvard degree or been to Stanford or work for Google, Tencent or Microsoft or one or other of these shitty companies and be on the website in full glory. But that's not what this project is all about, guys. This is a developer-based project that has real value in terms of of what it's trying to implement. Again, I mentioned earlier, you know, the volatility of cryptocurrency, if you can control that, that's one of the holy grails and one of the most important things that in the future crypto will need to have mainstream adoption. It's as simple as that. So I'm not overly concerned about there not being a team exposed on the website. Again, it's not that kind of project. So the one and only concern I have is not to do with the project itself as it goes. It's actually a pump and dump scheme that was exposed on a paid Telegram group, and they were going to use Haven Protocol as their pump and dump coin. I did a video on it and it's up there. Now, people were saying you're a bit unfair on Haven Protocol, including them in that video. But guys, it wasn't my fault they picked Haven as their pump and dump coin. And I certainly did not want to construe it as a scam coin or a pump and dump coin. I'm actually invested fairly heavily in Haven. And I believe in the project longer term. I like it. It's exciting. So, you know, I've absolutely no wish to FUD it at all. You know, let's be honest. The other thing I do want to say, though, is you have to be aware that these low cap coins like Haven Protocol do pose more risk than the bigger market cap coins and the more well-established projects out there. But again, you know, the higher the risk, the higher the reward. And I'm always saying this to you guys, you know, and it takes a little bit of skill to pick these, and it also takes a bit of balls as well to actually get invested in them and hold on to them, you know, because they are going to do something eventually. I believe that Haven Protocol will be quite successful, but it takes balls to hold on to them, and it takes balls to, you know, go through the volatility as well. And let's face it, that's what it's all about. When you can make these low cap gem picks, get involved in them at an early stage, it gives you so much more satisfaction. I mean, any fucking mook can get involved in a hyped ICO and flip it for 10x. I mean, there's no skill involved. You know, once, you know, Ian Bellina or one of those influencers announces an ICO and says it's the next thing since sliced bread, everybody gets involved. There's, you know, it either is a gas war when it goes to ICO, or it's a lottery like Quark Chain is. And if you get picked, of course you're going to be able to flip it because there's demand there. There's no skill in winning a lottery, guys, but there is skill in finding gems. And I think this one's a gem. So the roadmap then, well, the network was released earlier this year, so it's a fairly new project, hence its low market cap and low visibility as well. The wallets have been released as well, so there is a desktop wallet, I believe, but coming soon are the Apple and Android mobile wallets, which will be cool because then you'll be able to store your Haven protocol on your phone. And again, you can avoid volatility a lot easier because everybody carries their phone with them, so you'll be able to just swap your coins straight out if you think there's going to be a market crash, which could be a real benefit to a lot of people. I2P integration will come as well to further anonymize the network. That's going to remove the IP addresses that are associated with the transactions. And in Q4 this year, the offshore storage smart contract will be implemented. Then you'll be able to transfer your Haven coins over into US dollar value. Now, as the Bitcoin Air merge fork is not being conducted by Haven Protocol, I'm not going to announce it here, I'm not going to mention it here, but I will let you know about it in the next section of the video once we've summed up our review of Haven Protocol. Right, let's look at the positives of this project then and what I like about it. And I really do like this project. I don't think I've hidden it in this review at all. Is this another Holy Grail? It certainly seems like it. You know, when I mean Holy Grail, I mean things that are really, you know, really important for cryptocurrency to find and to find solutions for. And the volatility problem that surrounds cryptocurrency at the moment is certainly something that, while if we're speculating on it, we're making a lot of money or losing a lot of money, as the case may be, the volatility of it really needs to be addressed, especially when you consider problems with merchants accepting cryptocurrency. They're reluctant to do so because it's volatile, you know, and also, you know, the other problem it solves is to store your funds, that you could actually buy into Haven Protocol and store your funds in their offshore storage solution on the blockchain through a smart contract that's totally transparent, and it's away from prying eyes as well. It's innovative and unique as well. So, you know, I've never seen anything like this before. We mentioned in the competition section some other stable coins that are trying to do similar things, but none are as innovative and unique as this project is. And this is totally private and anonymous as well. And that is something that's lacking in a lot of the other projects out there. Bitcoin Air merge fork, of course, will get you free coins, and we'll talk about that in a second. I'm quite excited about both of these projects, Bitcoin Air as well. The competitive advantage this project has over its rivals is another positive. Again, it will be instant to transfer your Haven Protocol coins into offshore storage and back again using the wallet. No mucking about through centralized exchanges and all the rest of the rigmarole that surrounds the current methods. It's going to be trustless and transparent as well, which is very much needed. It's also a mineable coin, which I like. As a miner, cryptocurrency miner myself, I do enjoy mining for different cryptos. This one is no exception. And this has a fairly low total supply of 18.4 million coins, and that's fixed as well. There'll never be any more. So it's almost like a Bitcoin model in terms of the mining, the proof of work algorithm, and a fairly low total supply that's capped. Now, at the moment, in my opinion, it's got an incredibly low market cap of just $6 million. I think when people start to realize how you know, how easy this could be to store funds in their offshore contract at a level, at a US dollar level, I think you know, this could rise exponentially. It really could. And as well, I'm looking to rising in the run up to the Bitcoin Air fork as well. I think we'll have a run where people are accumulating this to get the free Bitcoin Air, especially those that are interested in the projects. I'm going to amass it anyway. I'm wanting bags of this. So I think that could give it some action as well in the short term. But longer term, once people, you know, realize it's a solution to sort of offshore banking, I think this could explode. I really do. And I'm not joking there. I really am. The low token price, again, it's quite attractive, even at the moment. With a $2 token price, $2.30 or whatever it is at the moment, it's still low for what you're gonna get. There's still big gains to be made here, so it's still an opportunity in my opinion. I also like the fact it's open source and fully decentralized, exactly what I look for in projects as well. I don't like too much centralization, don't like control, and I like things to be open source so people can actually use them themselves. And again, it all helps the community and it helps the technology to improve. I like the fact that this project's community focused. Their Discord's quite good. They are open to people asking questions. And again, it's a good community focused coin, and I like that as well. So in terms of risk assessment, what are the risks about this project? Not necessarily what I don't like, but certainly I don't like a lot of these things. Well, it could draw the ire of authorities, and I know you're going to retort and say, well, it's decentralized, you know, nobody can shut it down. And while that may well be true, it could still draw the ire of authorities as well. Once they realize that people can hold value in US dollars in the smart contract and the offshore storage, then it might start to draw the ire of authorities, especially tax man and people like that. It's relatively unknown at the moment as well, so there's not much hype around it. Again, that's probably a good thing. If we're in an accumulation phase, it allows us to do that while the price is relatively low and then anticipate the growth in future. So, you know, that could work both ways, but it is relatively unknown at the moment. And again, people will see this as a fairly risky project and therefore not want to get involved at this time. I'm sure that will change in the near future. Now, another risk here, and not necessarily something I dislike, is that this is not aiming to be another corporate entity project. You know, it's certainly not a humdrum ICO, and thus it shouldn't be regarded as such, but that does bring with it its own inherent risk in that the development team is quite recluse. It's a low-key project. They don't have any corporate backers in this, so they've got nobody to answer to. So they could basically walk away at a drop of a hat, and that's why I've included it in the risk section. Now, overall, stable coins have been getting pretty bad press recently. There's been a few negative things on social media about them and people joking about them. And it's all stemming from Tether, I believe, because Tether was the first stable coin, and it's the most notorious as well. So they get a bad rep overall, and I feel it's not warranted most of the time. But you know, this is a risk. It could disappear again if the devs just get bored of it and they don't keep active and they don't want to continue. Then, you know, this could go down the plug hole, and that's a risk. You've got to take that into account. So potential gains then, what I might think this might do given the market and taking into account previous similar projects that we've seen. Well, there isn't many to compare really, but we'll have a go anyway. Ultra bearish market, well, we've seen this go down 40% in the last couple of weeks, last few weeks, while it's been bearish, and I think it could do that again. But again, it's starting to gain a little bit of recognition, I think, in the cryptocurrency community now. So I think it's starting to protect itself from massive losses. So 40% down, ultra bearish. In a bearish environment, probably a bit less, probably going to go down about 20%, I would say, there or thereabouts. But in a bullish environment, this is going to rocket, guys. And again, it's not only the market sentiment that will allow this to make the big gains. It's the fact on what it actually does. Once people realize that, and once people can actually get it around their heads that they can use this to go into the offshore storage, then it will rocket. It may well go beyond my perma bullish 25x here. It may go well beyond that, and honestly, it may well do that because it's got that solution. It's got that it's got the volatility solved already, and that's why it could really do well. Well, for me, it's a buy up to $4. So let's look at the potential gains, what I think it might do given the market and taking into account previous similar projects. Now, there's nothing really to compare it to, so let's have a go anyway. In an ultra bearish environment, well, we've seen it in the last few weeks lose about 40% of its value, but again, that's the whole market. Again, we're just ebbing and flowing with the tide of Bitcoin here, guys. General market sentiment isn't kind to 99.9% of projects. That's just the way it is at the moment. Until we decouple from Bitcoin and we see more widespread mainstream adoption, then this will continue for the foreseeable. So yeah, it's going to probably drop 40%. In a bearish market, it'll fare a bit better, but still it's relatively unknown, and therefore it's going to be a little bit more volatile. So down 20%, I would say. But in a bullish environment, and you know, and taking into account, yeah, a bullish environment, but also once people realize what this is all about and realize the importance of this holy grail of volatility, then, you know, we could see parabolic increases in the price of this coin, guys. We really could. So I'm very bullish on this. I think in a bullish environment, 10x is not beyond the realms of possibility at all. And in an ultra bullish or perma bullish environment, 25x, not a problem whatsoever. This coin could be worth $50 in the near future, I think. Given that would only take it to a market cap of 300 million, that is nothing. And if you take into account that a lot of people might start to use this coin as a hedge for, you know, into fiat assets, 300 million is nothing. It's absolute peanuts. We could maybe even see this do a lot more than 25x, but I'm staying conservative. I'm trying not to get excited. It's staying conservative. So my advice here, or not financial advice, just what I'm doing, buy up to $4, I think, is a good way to accumulate here. Anything over $4, I think, is just going to be a bit too risky in the current environment. But yeah, buy up to $4. I'm going to continue to accumulate this. And I already hold a fairly big bag, and I think you should look to sell at about $30 as well. You've made, you know, a fairly good profit if it gets that high, which I think it actually will. All right, that is the Haven Protocol bit over. So let's have a look at the upcoming merge fork that is Bitcoin Air. So what is Bitcoin Air? Well, they propose to have a similar system to Haven Protocol. It is actually going to be a merge fork of Haven Protocol and Bitcoin, would you believe, hence the name. So they're going to use what's called the Air Protocol to solve this problem that we discussed of volatility. Now, by utilizing this unique Air Protocol technology, you can basically choose to off-chain the value of your Bitcoin Air, much like we discussed in Haven Protocol, their offshore storage solution, and that will immediately lock you into the US dollar value as well. So the off-chaining capability will preserve the US dollar value of any burned coins in what they're calling US Dollar Air Protocol, or USDAP, or USDAP if you like. So it's very similar in the way that Haven Protocol works. So some technical stuff about the coin. Its block size is 4 megabytes, block time is 1 minute. The block reward is 1 coin only, and the estimated initial supply will be 5 million Air in total. The algo is actually a hybrid dynamic proof of stake, proof of work algorithm with, would you believe, Bitcoin, Peercoin, and Haven Protocol core. So they're going to be community driven, globally focused, and also they're going to have a transparent business model as well. So they're doing slightly different things from Haven Protocol. They're going to combine both the populated base of Bitcoin and also the privacy focused storage of Haven Protocol to find a better solution, or a different solution, because they can also implement SegWit, atomic swaps, and Lightning Network as well. So as far as security is concerned, they are implementing this hybrid consensus algorithm that will be both dynamic proof of stake and proof of work as well, and that stops potential replay attacks, double spending, 51% attacks, Sybil attacks, that type of thing within the blockchain. But it also doesn't compromise on your privacy, your anonymity, your security as well. So in terms of where we are in the roadmap, they just announced the merge fork yesterday, and the details are being finalized as we speak. So basically what's going to happen is, if you own Haven Protocol, then you will be given 1 Bitcoin Air per Haven Protocol coin that you have. If you own Bitcoin, you will receive 1 Bitcoin Air for every 7.5 Bitcoin that you own. And the reason they're doing this is because they don't want Bitcoiners to actually just dump it on exchanges, as we've seen with a lot of the other Bitcoin forks previously, because what they want is they want to have a community focused coin. So they want people that actually care about what they're invested in, and many of the Haven Protocol investors or holders do actually know and care about the project, and are, you know, backing it for the longer term. That's what they want as well. They don't want just a load of Bitcoin holders dumping it on exchanges. So that's the philosophy behind the ratio with the Bitcoin. So you'll have to basically own some Haven Protocol to get the Bitcoin Air. The date of the fork, or the snapshot from the chain, will happen in due course. That will be announced sometime in August, I think August the 15th. So in the run up to that, they are getting their marketing together, they're having their development Q&A, they're working on the new algorithm, working on the testnet, developing the testnet, continued development of the procedure for minting and burning tokens, and, you know, many other features as well that they need to implement before they make any announcements. And of course, it goes without saying that in the future, I will be doing a full Bitcoin Air coin review. It's no point doing it just now because it just simply wouldn't do it justice, guys. So there we go, that is my Bitcoin Air Haven Protocol video concluded. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please smash the likes and let me know in the comments below if you're bullish on either of these projects. I certainly am, and I am definitely going to accumulate more Haven Protocol because it's a way of accumulating a coin I like, but also getting my hands on the new Bitcoin Air, which I also like as well. So yeah, can't grumble about that, getting something for free, yeah? So I forgot to tell you about my spreadsheet, so here you go. It's actually not got many projects on it at the moment because I changed the way I score the ICOs, as you probably know if you watch my videos. So I had to change the spreadsheet as a result. So I deleted all the other ICOs off it that I'd previously reviewed and were on it. So it's only got a few on it at the moment, but I will be updating it on a daily basis, and I will also be updating it to you guys on a weekly basis. So you'll be able to get the new version every week. Now it's available on my Telegram group, which is growing, but we've still got room for more members, and once it reaches a certain amount, we will close it off and no more members will be permitted. So it's in your interest to join it now while you've still got that opportunity. You can also download it from the link in the description below as well. Another interesting feature that I included in the spreadsheet was this schedule, so you can record the ICOs, the whitelist if required, the dates, and everything else that might be of interest to you, including your affiliate rewards and your bounty rewards as well. I've been using it and I find it quite handy to keep track of everything I'm doing, so hopefully you will as well. So as usual, I've just got to end it with that useless disclaimer that says, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. If you are going to invest in cryptocurrency, please bear in mind they do pose inherent risk, and never invest more than you can afford to lose. Always invest wisely, invest cautiously, and more importantly than anything else, always do your own due diligence and your own research. Don't listen to YouTube shillers. Okay, got the message? Catch you tomorrow.